Welcome to the sewing workshop. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make this polo placket. You can see this is exactly what it's going to look like. All you have to do is just to smash the like button. It's very simple. And on this fabric, all you have to do is just to make your buttonhole and insert your button underneath the placket so that you're going to have your button punched out from the buttonhole. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I believe you already cut out your bodice. This is the wrong side and this is the inside of it is the right side. I just fold it based on my bodice. You understand? In case you don't know how to cut a normal senator bodice, I have a video in the channel, or you can just go through the channel. You're going to see the video. Or if you think all of this seems like a magic to you, I would advise you to join my beginners class to have a good understanding of what we're about to do. So the very first thing is the depth of my neck, the depth of the placket that I want to make. It's going to be at 8 inches. So I'm going to mark my 8 inches at the center part right there. You can see. So now, depending on the wideness in which you want your placket to be, the wideness I want this is going to be a total of 2 inches. So if I'm cutting 1 inch from this front, that means I'm cutting 2 inches at the back side. But here, I'll be cutting 3/4 of an inch. And the remaining 1/4 of an inch is what I'll be folding inside. So I want you guys to pay attention here. So here, I'll be cutting 3/4 of an inch at this place. Just here. You can see that. And I'll cut 3/4 of an inch. I'll mark 3/4 of an inch at this place also. You can see what I'm doing, and this down part. So the total wideness I will have at the end of the day after the folding of the remaining quarter will be 2 inches in total, right? 2 inches in total. So I'm simply mark this place. I'm just going to connect the lines together so you can see what I have. And at this side also, just make it connect just like that. You see that? You can see what we have. So the next thing is just, I will just be cutting it out. This is just a very simple design, and I've got requests about how to make a polo design on a senator outfit, so I decided to make this video for you guys. So make sure you smash the like button. It is very important. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so after cutting it out, let me open this up. This is my front panel. This is what my front is going to be looking like. You see this is exactly what we're going to be having. So now the next thing I'll be doing now is at the back side, I'm going to, at those edges of what we just cut now, I'll be adding an interfacing to those edges in order to hold it tightly. I'm going to add an interfacing all across the edges. Just an interfacing of like 1/2 of an inch is enough. So this is what you're going to be having. You can see this after adding an interfacing all across the edges. You can see that. This is what you're going to be having. So the next thing I'll be doing now is very simple. All I'll be doing now is to simply, I want you guys to pay attention here. So at this place, I'm going to mark 1/4 of an inch, just a tiny measurement at that place. The 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to divide it into 2 places. So I'm going to mark each of the deviation at both sides. You can see that. Just a tiny one. That's what I marked there. So at that edge, I'm going to make a notch right there. You can see that. And at this edge also, I'm going to make a notch exactly to that chalk area. You can see that. You can see what I have. So the next thing I'll be doing now is on this right here, exactly from that notch in which I make. I hope you guys are paying attention. Exactly at that notch in which I make, I'm going to fold it backward. I'm folding something as tiny as possible. You can see that. I'm going to fold it backward just like this. And I'm going to simply iron. I'm going to fold this down part also, and I'll iron it and make sure it is firm. So you can see what I'm having here. You can see that this is exactly what you're going to be having in the front also. You can see how the front look like. So make sure it is balanced and it is straight, right? So the next thing we're going to do now is to cut a piece of fabric that we're going to use as our under placket. So on this one, I cut 4 inches. I cut 4.5 inches, right? So that I'll be having something to fold, to stitch on the fabric itself. So you can see the 4.5 inches can simply go underneath the placket. You can see that. But on the fabric, I want you guys to pay attention here. You can see, make sure this is very straight so that it's going to simply align very well, just like this. You can see that. This is exactly what we're trying to get. And I'm going to cut a smaller one also, but the one does not have to be up to 4.5 inches, because it doesn't have to layer, like it doesn't have to be of the same size with this one. It's going to be underneath because it's just going to like hold your button so that you can put it inside the buttonholes for the front placket. I hope you guys are getting that. So that doesn't have to be full. So the next thing we are going to do now on this placket right here, on this small this one that we just cut previously, is to simply put your hemming gum in between in order to hold it tight, so that it's going to hold firm, right? You're going to put an hemming gum to it, just like this. You can see that, just like this, just like this. I just want it to be full, that's why I had an entire hemming gum. And the same thing you're doing on this one, you're going to do it on the smaller placket also. You're going to put your hemming gum on it, so iron it and make sure it is very firm. So this is exactly what you're going to be having. You can see how firm that is. You can see that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to go to the sewing machine and sew this step by step, so that we can have something as sharp as possible. So make sure you are aligning this thing very, very well before you sew it. So I will take you guys to the sewing machine so that we can do it together. So right here, make sure you align it very well before you start your sewing, and make sure each of the sides are closed very, very well. You can see what I'm doing. So at this side, I'm going to start my stitch. I'll make sure the stitch you're running here is as tiny as possible, and it has to be on the edge of the fabric itself. You can see the result during the introduction, right? It has to be at the edge of the fabric itself. You can see that. You can see what I'm doing. Just make sure it is sharp, just like this. You can see that. So when you get to this place, make sure it actually keys very well. You can see that edge. You're going to simply place this under the bigger placket. It has to be under. You can see that. It has to be under. You can see that. And make sure your hand is straight when you're doing this place. You can see that. You're going to simply stitch it all the way, just like this. Make sure you hold that place very well, and make sure that place is very close. You can see that. You can see that. You can see what we have. You can see that. And just stitch it all the way to the top. You can see what I'm doing. Just take your time and make sure it is very, very, very close. It has to be as close as possible. So this is exactly what we're going to be having as the final result. You can see that. I think I overlap somewhere around here. So you can see what so let me take you guys to the table. So this is the final result we're going to be having. You can see my stitch, how they are very, very close to the edge of the fabric. So you can see that all you have to do now is to put your buttonholes at the center part. You're going to make a buttonhole at the center part, and you're going to tack your button to the under collar, right? So it's going to simply carry your button at the top. So this is what the entire design looks like. It's very, very simple, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. So all you have to do now is just to trim out your neck. Make sure you trim out the neck area. You can see that. Just trim out your neck area. This is what we'll be having. Trim out your neck area, and simply cut. You can now join your shoulder, and you can simply pipe your neck all round and put your buttonholes. The design is very, very simple. If you don't want your design to be the placket to be this wide, I already give you guys the measurements and the formula. So make sure you give this video a thumb up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe. Those stitches underneath, all you have to do is just to weave those area, weave it all around, or you can use a zigzag scissors to just cut it around. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and there's a video on the screen right now that you can watch right this moment that can actually enlighten you more into fashion.